Well, hi there. How are you? Jack Willard here in a special Tuesday night edition of Worldwide Ramblings. If you're watching live, if you're in the replay, hello to you. You can comment in the section of the completed live show. As soon as we finish this broadcast, the live stream will be available in the live section of this channel. You can see all our past live shows there, the virtual church of the disillusioned. 26 degrees here in the Hudson Valley, but supposed to warm up maybe 60 by the weekend, maybe 60. The kicker is I'll be inside working with the gentleman that I get to have the privilege of working with. Um, you know, number of times a year. Been with him over a year now. And I'll be working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And it'll be in those key afternoon times when it'll be potentially gorgeous outside. We've had beautiful sunny weather here, but chilly, 43. That's not sit in the gazebo weather, stuff like that. And so there's not much unwind time with the cigar and the music playing outside. Pam Donnelly, hello from Marengo, Indiana. Hey, hey, hey. Uh, Shelley checking in, telling us about Toby Keith. Of course, we know he passed away on Monday at the age of 62 years old. I can't say that I really was that familiar with his music, but I know he was one of the new icons in country music. And, you saw him getting thinner and thinner. And, stomach cancer is just one of those things. It's like pancreatic cancer. Um, you can try everything, throw everything at it, but the kitchen sink, and he had the money to do that. But it's just one of those cancers. They have a hard time holding back. But there's E.C. Stilson. You can see her videos on Facebook. She has had a similar cancer and has lived now for over 3 years. She was diagnosed in 2020. So tonight we're going to talk about relationships. That's kind of like me speaking about higher math and why you should learn it. Since I have a probably below third grade math level, never wanted to learn the higher math. So guess what? I flunked out on the high school equivalency test. You only had to get 45 in the math section. And I think I got 44 and they looked the other way. Yes, so we know these headlines, Shell. In fact, I have a picture of the New York Post. And there's King Charles right there. Has Harry arrived in the United Kingdom yet? I was happy to see that he was going to go after the embarrassment he suffered at the coronation. I wasn't sure he would make that attempt, but he is, I believe. Hi, Judy Wright from Georgia. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a special edition of Worldwide Ramblings. We already have 11 people watching. Once again, someone made the critique that I take too long to get to the main subject, which tonight is relationships, but we can talk about anything that's on your mind. Your topics are welcome. And it is true. Sometimes I do, and they said, well, I have a short attention span. Well, this is not the format for you. This is more of a talk radio format, and you probably don't listen to talk radio. If Clay and Buck come on to do their 3 hour show. They basically replaced Rush Limbaugh. They always keep him in mind when they're doing the show. They have to space out their content. You know, you can't, I want to say you can't shoot your wad, but I know that's not the best term I could come up with. You can't do that in the first 30 minutes. You've got 3 hours to fill, and the person tuning in, say you're on noon to 3 East Coast time, the person tuning in for the final half hour deserves some content that you saved for that segment, you know? So, it's like that. It's not like, "Oh, let me get whatever information you have and then move on," you know? "I wanna get out within 40 seconds." Not for you. This is not for you. This is go to the picture videos, go to the roll-in videos, you know? They say the, attention span of especially young people is that of a gerbil. But for older people, it's longer than that. We have people that watch the whole show, and I'm so grateful for that, either in the replay or live, you know? So, it's just not for people that are trying to use me as like a, encyclopedia or, you know, what we used to call an actuality in the news department. I didn't I read news occasionally when I had to on the air, but, you know, a soundbite, that's the word I'm looking for. This is not a soundbite program. This is not a word bite program. It's not that kind of thing, you know? It's about relationship with the audience and, talking, about, various, topics, not just one topic. We're, well-rounded people here with, all kinds of concerns and hobbies and passions and disappointments and pain and sickness and all kinds of things. And so you can't put that into, you know, soundbite. That's why those guys who just throw up pictures and quick videos and what have you get more hits than I do. You know, they do. I realize that. It's just the way it is. So, I can see already Shell is having problems in the relationship department because she says the best love I ever had was unconditional love from my dog. So I may have to, this might turn into a therapy session if people were brutally honest, and that's okay. Good evening, Alice Warner. All the young girls love Alice. Precious young Alice, they say. I don't think the word is precious. I just added that. Linda Justice, hey, Jack. Jack the Whack, how are you? Judy Wright is from Georgia. I said that right. And Julie, I want to say Bacchus in the worst way. I just want to change it to Bacchus, but it's not right. Is it a French pronunciation? Julie, Julie, Julie? Could it be that? Good evening to everyone here tonight. Welcome. Uh, it is Bacchus. Bacchus, thank you. See, you helped me out there. That'll help me because I'm not good at that, deciphering. If there's two choices, I always pick the wrong one. Pam says, been with the love of my life and soulmate for 30 years. Well, God bless you, Pam. That's wonderful. Not a lot of people can say that. Not a lot of people can say that. My first marriage, and I'm not going to talk about my actual relationships. They don't want that. So I'm going to be very careful how I put things. Um, but my first marriage was 17 years. My second marriage was 7 years. And I've been with Karen now. We are going into year 14, I believe. We're working on year 14 now because we started dating in 2010, and then I moved into this abode the very same year. So 30 years puts you in a unique category. I mean, you hear of couples that have been together 50 years, 60 years, even heard of a couple recently that was together 70 years, but that is rare. Hi, Charlotte. How are you? Hey, Jack and everyone in the chat. Brad's home. I can hear him coming up the stairs. My door's locked. 14 people watching right now. 5 likes. Yes, please like. If you like, please subscribe if you haven't already. We're just about to hit what now? What's the latest number? We're just about to hit 6,000 subscribers. So, we're moderately successful here. And I'm just looking for my niche. I'm not for everybody. I'm for some, hopefully. I'm for some. And, it's the same with you guys. You probably don't go on popular mechanics chat sites or something like that. So everybody has their niche, and I'm well away. I'm well aware that Pastor Bob Joyce has a lot to do with my success. We'll do some stuff on Saturday night. I might say something, but you're able to comment. People telling me to watch the sermon. I've been so busy. It seems I've been so busy. I watched the sermon from last Sunday, and then one of you, I think it was Lee, was good enough to give me a marker on the video, which will help me, a marker. Just say, watch the video because you'll find it interesting. I'll do it because now you've caught my attention, but it may take me longer. And if I can go right to a specific marker, but I like to see the whole video. I mean, if I am asking people to watch the whole video and not just use me as an encyclopedia or a soundbite or a word bite, then I've got to extend the same courtesy to Pastor Bob because he's preaching the Word of God. He's preaching the Word of God. Katina Swatsworth joins us. Hi, everyone. I met my husband when I was 19. We got married when I was 21. It's been 30 years, another 30-year marker. He is my true love. That's really, really good. Did you have rough times, Katina, that you worked your way through, things like that? Couples tend to fight about money. They tend to fight about the male usually not paying enough attention. I'm talking here. You're looking the other way. Hello, hello. I do get that from time to time, I must admit, because I'm thinking about the next program. I'm thinking about, any number of things for my children to what have you, or what I need to get done. And Karen doesn't like my zoning out. It's been 40 degrees in Canada, huh? Where you are, huh? My plants are starting to bud. Yeah, they want to here. They want to hear. The birds were out chirping today, and it was only in the low 40s. But it's going to get much warmer, but it's going to be kind of a drag that the best part of the day, I'm going to miss it, But I am very fortunate to be able to work with this gentleman from time to time. I'm like the backup guy. Snow in Nova Scotia? Yikes. Yikes, Batman. Hi, Vicky Smith. 41 years this year. If God's not in it, and he comes first, you're not going to make it. If God's not in it, and if God doesn't come first, you're not going to make it. I guess we could find even gay couples that don't have faith that have made it for a lot of years. There's a couple right across the way here that have been together now for, I don't know, 50 years. But I know what you're saying. If God's not in it, then you are missing the piece of the puzzle, and you'll tend to live a life that's totally selfish and totally unaware of what the greatest gift of all time is. I don't have that kind of a history, Vicky, of success in godly living in a relationship. I don't have it. So it's kind of weird that I would do a show on relationships when I have been in 4 relationships in my life that were serious. Karen being the final one. I always like to say I started with a Karen way back in 1980. two or three, and I end with a Karen now here in my fourth quarter, hoping for overtime. Tucker is in Russia. You know, you're like a news. I know he was going, so he's there right now. Oh, how dare he interview Vladimir Putin? You know, how dare he find out what's going on in his mind? Right? That's his job. That's his job. Um, when President Trump was in office, he found a way to get along with Vladimir Putin, and we didn't have a war in Ukraine. We didn't have all this destruction. We didn't have um, the violence and the death. Uh, Trump knew how to handle a Vladimir Putin. I understand he's a vicious killer. I get that, but you want to find out what's going on in his mind. You want to find out what's going on in his mind through an interpreter, I guess. But um, Tucker likes to go beyond the norm. That's what has always made him stand out. There's nobody like Tucker, but they started to get real nervous over at Fox because they, you know, they had a lot of people that were out to get him, and of course they go after the sponsors. That's how they do it. That's their tactic. Okay, Katina, thanks for stopping by. I know you will. I appreciate that. Jake Judy watched a YouTube video by a channel named Spy Guy, not Spa Guy, right? Spy Guy. He went to Bob Joyce's church. You sure you don't mean Spa Guy? um, Nobody answered, so he went to his house. I think we all know this story there, Jake Judy. I think I've commented on that in The Verdict and other videos. Bob answered and interviewed him without showing his face. Yeah, we know about that, and we've talked about it many, many, many times. But you're kind of new here, right? So that's cool. I'm not condemning you. Um, you know, as I guess I have to say real quickly, Spa Guy was not going to get an exclusive interview when he did an ambush on Bob's porch. I am surprised that Bob even answered the door and that it wasn't somebody else. People have made that comment, and I agree. Others have said he really knows Spa Guy, and Spa Guy has been to the church for service. So who knows what's going on? You know, I don't. But um, if our um, beliefs on what can be possible concerning Pastor Bob Joyce were true, he's not going to give a world exclusive and then 10 minutes later have to pack up and leave Benton. But if you listen to the audio, because first of all, Spa Guy gave him the answer saying, "You're not Elvis, right?" And Bob said, "No, no." And then it seemed like from the inflection that he regretted what he said, and he felt he had to explain more. He said, "Look, God gave me dreams to reach the world. He gave me dreams to reach the world." And so that was kind of his explanation, telling you that this was God ordained the way this was set up. And you can read into that what you want to or not, not. But one thing is for sure, um, he wouldn't choose Spa Guy if he was going to give a world exclusive interview. It would be somebody completely different than that. Somebody completely different. I would go with maybe Mike Huckabee. Maybe Mike Huckabee. He would go with a Christian brother for sure, and it would be a prominent one. Maybe Mike Huckabee would be a choice for him. I don't think he'd go with Stephanopoulos, who's such a worm, such a such a partisan worm. You know, he's not a journalist anymore. Just like Tapper and Cooper and Wolf Blitzer and all the rest of them, he left his, in my opinion, his reputation behind long ago. Here's your chance. Hi, Jack. Well, hello to you. Hello to you. Um, Ted Richards, good evening, Jack, and to everyone on board tonight. Yeah, we came on an hour earlier than we've been doing during the week for Midnight Ramblings, making it a special edition of Worldwide Ramblings. You see my face behind me, Karen and I, in one of the first pictures we ever took in about 2010. And then we have this picture, one of the first times we went to the Renaissance Fair in Tuxedo, New York. This could have been on our first date. I don't know. Maybe we went a number of years, so I'm not sure. But here's Karen with the bears. Karen with the bears. In the forest in Tuxedo at the Shire. At the Shire. Now, there are some New Age implications in part of the Shire, and I, of course, stayed away from them. But there's just some great entertainers there. Some great entertainers, and there's a joust, and there's the washing well wenches and Dead Bob. I think Dead Bob, meaning the guy who created Dead Bob, died. That's what I heard. Unfortunately, I saw him a number of times, but that's the Renaissance Fair part of it, and we have not been back in the last few years. You know, you have to kind of be selective how you spend your money when it's tight. 23 watching, please let us know who you are and where you're watching from. Are you watching in one of the United States of America or another country? We hear from Wales, South Africa, Ireland, Michael in London, England, and oh, what else? There's been I think once Iceland, Holland, yes, Holland and Amsterdam. My goodness. We usually hear from them in the replay, it seems. That's what it seems. So here we are. I did it again for the person who says, get to the main topic faster. I blew it again because I have such fun talking to you and I want to say hello to people. 22 minutes in, and I haven't started talking about relationships really. How about the divorce rates as we talk about relationships? The APA, which is the American Psychological Association, estimates that the probability of a first marriage ending in divorce within the first 10 years is approximately 33%. Second marriages face an even higher likelihood of ending, 60 to 70%. I fulfilled each one of these statistics, ladies and gentlemen, 60 to 70% or higher. What is the number one reason? This kind of shocked me, but it's so indicative, I think, of well, certainly the XY crowd, and I think maybe the millennials too, but it would apply to the baby boomers, a portion of them as well. What is the number one reason for divorce? Is it money? Is it cheating? Well, maybe you could say cheating because the way they say it is the number one reason for divorce is a lack of commitment. A lack of commitment. Even Elvis Presley, it was said of Elvis Presley that he felt less married than Lisa Marie. I'm sorry, than that she had her own history, of course, but then Priscilla Presley, he felt less married. In other words, he was more likely to step out when she was not around. But of course, she had her relationships. I don't know the timeline and on all that with her, but I'm saying when you are on the road and you are someone like Tom Jones, a good friend of Elvis Presley, or any number of crooners and rock and rollers and what have you, it's going to be extra hard for you to be faithful. But I think a lack of commitment is more than just maybe you cheated on your spouse. It's a lack of commitment to put the marriage first, to really um, put your partner at a very high level, just under God, for example. It's God, family, and then what you do for a living. That's the proper order, I believe. And so many of today's people are not spiritual at all. If they're children of millennials, they often were raised by someone who was rebellious to any kind of rules or what have you. I'm not talking about everybody here. If you were raised in a good, solid Christian home, yes, it can be totally different. But I remember back in my days of Christian radio, we would have preachers come on. We would have Focus on the Family with James Dobson. We had the late, great Jack Hayford, a truly anointed man of God. Greg Laurie and other preachers that and then I would go back to playing music after their program, and I think it might have been on Focus on the Family. They basically said that in terms of having sex, teenagers having sex, there was no difference between the rate of teenagers doing this as to whether they were from a Christian home or whether they were from an atheist home. Teenagers were going to do what they were going to do. And that's why it's important that if you train up a child in the way that he should go when he gets older, he will not depart. He will not depart from it. But many times there will be a big I think even Franklin Graham went through this, Billy Graham's son, and a lot of preachers' kids, PKs, went through this where they just went off the charts and then would eventually end up running their father's ministry or even their mother's ministry. So there's all kinds of examples of that. It takes a lot of attention to make a marriage a success. Hearts Wild joins us too. Hi, Jack. I don't know what that other word is. Yeah, Alice, it takes a lot of attention to make marriage a success. You know, I'm still learning that lesson. Um, to be in the moment and to be very cognizant of the way I treat Karen, for example. Um, we don't tend to sleep in the same room unless we're traveling. She's over that way, and I'm here. This is my studio, bedroom, and what have you. So when I go over around 10, 11 o'clock or noon or even a little later, it's important that I let her know I am so happy to see her, uh, that that I am ready to listen to what she has to say. She often has a lot to say, and if I go over and it's like top of the hour, Fox News is on. Well, top stories. Just let me see the top stories. No, that's not the way you do it. Go over it before the top stories. um, and and make your partner feel that what they have to say is really important. And when they tell you they have pain issues and stuff like that, well, she has all these various lotions and creams, pain relief creams. You know, be in the moment and massage her and help her out and try to figure out a plan of treatment that we may have overlooked. We've tried so many things. She has fibromyalgia and she has a disc out of place. She did have back surgery neck surgery really, that helped align things so that she's kind of safe from, say if we got rear-ended in a car accident or something. Before that, it could have been a real problem. But I think we made her a little safer. Um, so I have to really think about everything I say. And if I'm at all agitated, if I'm having a moment of anxiety, I'll start to say stupid things. I'll start to express my anger. Another way that anger can come out, uh, as it did today, not geared at her, but geared at the television set when President Biden comes on. That tends to upset me. So I have to either turn the TV off or learn to control my emotions, and not yell at the TV. You know what Elvis would have done? He would have just taken his revolver when something was on he didn't like, um, and shoot the television screen out. You know all about fibromyalgia, Linda Justice says. So it's a constant pain. What do you do for it, Linda? What relieves it for you, or can you find anything that does? Quit zoning out, Jack, says Julie Bacchus. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I I think it's has something to do with me being an only child. I always had to live in my own little world. I didn't really have my first serious friends until McDonald's. When I started working at McDonald's in 1972, the guy that just came in was one of those friends back then. He came around 73, I think, 1973. But I met my first group of friends. He was one of them at McDonald's. And but before that, years before, I'd come home from school and I'd read my Hardy Boy mystery stories, and I would, I was just prone to fantasy. Thinking about this and thinking about that. What would it be like to be a priest? I'd pretend to say mass and what have you. That's the way it was. I take hydrocodone, but I don't take it all. I don't take all. I'm prescribed. Okay, I got it, Linda. I don't take all. I'm prescribed. Yeah, it's not good for your liver, right? It's not good for your kidneys if you take too much of that stuff. Now that I'm on mavacamten for my cardiomyopathy, and it's working very well, I'm very blessed. Um, I just saw my GP today. Um, Now that I'm on that, I'm not really supposed to be taking the Aleve and what have you. I can take Tylenol, but we all know that when you have certain kinds of pain like that, right, Linda, Tylenol doesn't do it. It might help a headache, but it doesn't. It doesn't take away the kind of pain you're talking about usually. Karen doesn't get much relief. So she takes, I don't think she'll mind me saying that she takes gabapentin and baclofen and a number of other things. Yeah, baclofen. Um, she takes, there's a few. She has quite a few actually, but I know um, gabapentin is very important that she takes. You can take a fair amount of gabapentin too. Um, and she found these new pain patches that she likes. I can't remember what they are. They're brand new, but it's only temporary relief. When she goes into the pain management doctor, he gives her the cortisone shots, you know, and they last for 2 weeks maybe, which is better than nothing. And then she goes for her Botox. That's another thing, Linda. Every 3 months, she goes for Botox injections. And they help, but everything is limited. Everything is limited. 21 people watching right now. Hello, 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 Neo. I'm just going to stick with Neo. If you have mass, you matter unless you are the square of the speed of light. Then you're energy. Then you energy. Then you energy. I don't know if I can decipher that. I may have to. I may have to sequester a panel to explain that one to me. Um, so where was I? Um, so lack of commitment. That's very big with the males of the XYZ generation. They are not interested in. In commitment, but guys have always had this problem, and some women do. Um, do you remember Gore Vidal, the author Gore Vidal? He was very big in the 70s and 80s. What was his big book? I can't remember right now, but no, he said, I remember one of his lines was, well, men just like this. Males, let's put it that way. Don't confine it to men. Males just like to spread it around. They just do. Um, Yeah, Hearts Wild. I have taken the two 500 milligram Tylenol for arthritis pain that I've had, And, some relief there, some relief. But you're right, the higher doses, especially for arthritis, that does help a little bit, arthritis. Um, so she has done that, and she tries a variety of things. She switches it up. Um, and we'll try to figure out your joke, Neo, in real time. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Neo. It's just easier, unless you want me to call you Bill. How about that? So, back to our relationship stats here. Same sex couples in the US exceed 1 million. I mean, they did in 2021. It's much higher now. Um, Household income for gay couples in 2023 averages 127,000, far more than that across the way here. I'm not giving up any more than that, but they're far more than that. They applied themselves. Um, Gay people are often very creative in the arts and what have you. That applies to one of them, and they just very successful. And of course, when you get into the medical field, and you're in a well-paid portion of the medical field, that makes a lot of money for you, and you save, 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 and then you get to retirement, and you don't want to spend it. That's the strangest thing to me. You're going to give it up to relatives you never see. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Some people just want to hold on to it, and or they'll say, "Oh, we used to do that years ago. We did that." So now you're gonna just hang around the house. I'm not sure I understand that. 114,000 same-sex couples. 114,000 same-sex couples are raising children now in the U.S. That's a more current uh, stat. The trend sexually is going away from vanilla. Everybody understand? Did you see 50 Shades of Grey? Did you? Admit it if you did, huh? How many honest people we got there that will admit to seeing 50 Shades of Grey? Someone will castigate me for even mentioning it, but that's par for the course. I didn't come on to be phony here. I just Karen and I both saw 50 Shades of Grey together. We did. We didn't know what to expect. We got more than we expected. Uh, but isn't that Jamie Dornan a fine actor, as is Don Johnson's daughter? Um, you know, what's her name? She's in a new movie called the Madam Web. It's the part of the Marvel series, Madam Web, with Dakota Johnson. Yeah, that's her name. Anastasia. It's funner. It's funner. Yeah. Jack Willard School Addiction. It's funner when you say Anastasia. Anastasia sounds like Natasha. It's more spooky. It's more sexy. Anastasia or Natasha. Sexy names. What are sexy names, huh? Hmm. Desiree. Um, uh, um, there's just certain names that just have that grab. Or then there's all American names, like, oh, I don't know, Jessica. Jessica. And Nicole is a very nice name, and Becca is a super nice name. I know a Becca that's very, very pretty. uh, Karen knows her too. Hey Little Genie, making me think of that Elton John song. It's not really Genie, is it? Let me see. Yeah, it is Jeannie. It's not Janine. Okay. Hi, Jeannie Thompson. I never saw 60 Shades of Grey. Well, there's 10 more shades now. I've got to. Is there an update? 10 more shades have been added? Did I say 60? Who knows? I never know. When I make a mistake, I don't catch it to the replay. And you have no desire to, and that's fine. But I probably would think that you would have a dim view of those who did, Jeannie. So Neo says, I have asked people, why am I doing this again? If they had any Grey Poupon. Have you any Grey Poupon in their car years ago? I remember the commercial, Neo. It was a good commercial. Uh, you're going to have to work this out before you take your act on the road. Ted Richards, I haven't seen it either. Gee, know nothing about what it is and won't watch it either. Okay. I got to remember, I don't have a Hugh Hefner audience here, and that's fine. I believe you. I believe you. Nobody's going to be honest and say they saw it here. Um, Hi, Felice Cooper. Felice Cooper has music available on Spotify, and I listened to it. Felice, it was um, it was instrumental. It was, if I've got the right Felice Cooper, and I'm pretty sure I do, beautiful guitar and then beautiful piano. So everybody go to Spotify. You can put up whatever the other platforms you're on and listen to the music of Felice Cooper. I found it very, very entertaining, soothing, and I could tell that I was listening to a very seasoned musician. Hi, Jack. Nice seeing you on Tuesday. Thanks for your prayers for my husband, Ross. Um, he's in cardiac rehab. I think we prayed in real time, but I'm going to write that down again because if I don't write things down, sometimes it goes out of my head. And I don't want that to happen. He's in rehab, cardiac rehab, and I'm writing music. My cousin and his group won a Grammy for a new R&B band. Really? What are their names? I didn't see any of the Grammy awards. I had no interest in seeing Joni Mitchell. I loved her early tunes, but she's turned out to be just a woke spokesman. So, what do you find funny, Jeannie, about LOL 50 Shades of Grey? You do know what I refer to, right? You do know that there was three movies based on the books, The 50 Shades of Grey. Um, and All right, Becca, somebody's going to make me, not hang me out to dry here. I saw all of them. And what did you think of them, Becca? What was your honest opinion? No judgment here. Um, just say what's on your mind. I actually enjoyed them. Well, so did I. So did I. What can I tell you? I have to be honest, even if it hurts my reputation with people that would think that I would never have seen them. I did see them. I did see them, and I think Karen and I saw all three of them actually. Um, I'm going to stop reading your stuff in real time. You better email me and we'll talk there, Neil. Um, Thanks for mentioning my music. Check it out. Check out Into Your Eyes vocal group. Check the Into Your Eyes vocal. The group is Air Atlantics. Air Atlantics. Well, you've been smoking the wildwood flower again, Neil. That's what it is. You've been smoking that green stuff, or maybe you've been eating brownies that were intentionally spiked with such. Perhaps. Even when in the 70s, when all my friends were doing pot and much harder stuff, I was the teetotaler of the group. I'd smoke a little pot, end up laughing in somebody's basement, and then feeling like I needed to go to the diner and order four or five things or go to 7-Eleven, and I'd have, the Oreos and all kinds of snacks. I never saw the allure of it. It can be good for pain. Karen has tried medical marijuana, And you can now, here in the state of New York, not in the very city I live in, but a mile out of the very city, not even a mile, you can buy, and it's legal in New York, you can buy a recreational marijuana. But that can have a very negative effect on the kids. It can lead to more very dangerous car accidents. People are smoking in the cars and what have you, you know. I'm all for people having the right to smoke marijuana if they so choose. But just like you know, you shouldn't be drinking and then getting in a vehicle. You can't be. So many accidents happen for stupid reasons, you know, and lives are changed. So let's see. I think I brought it to a standstill by talking about 50 Shades of Grey there, Becca. um, the trend sexually is going away from vanilla. Vanilla shaming has become a thing on TikTok, etc. Meaning, you know, people saying, "Oh, you're too square, you're too narrow-minded, and so you're never going to have any fun because you know you're practically like the acidics that put a hole in the sheet and only have sex for procreation and that's it, you know. When you're a married couple, it's nobody's business what you do. um, but of course many of them aren't married. Older couples tend to stay away from marriage, and the number one reason has got to be because it's going to screw up, say it's the second relationship for them. They're going to get their former spouses that they were married to for a number of years. It's got to be a number of years. They're going to get their portion of of the Social Security. It's not going to affect their Social Security payment, the person they were married to, but they will get like half of what they get or whatever it is, and that's what it is for Karen. And you won't get that if you're married, and that doesn't seem fair. You know, if you were entitled to that for so many years in a relationship. Those 40 and over say the most common sexual fantasy is having sex with a stranger. 72% of older men and 63% of women have a regular sexual partner. So those are the facts, just the facts, ma'am, as Joe Friday said. And eh, I have a show where I talk about Songs of Solomon in the Bible, and I read things from the Bible that would almost make you blush or would make you blush. And no preacher ever preaches from Songs of Solomon in the Bible. What the heck is the name of that video? It's not Sexy Ramblings, it's something else. You'll be able to find it as you look on the list, but it's very interesting what is on there. One hip chick. Think I'm invisible right now? No, I can see you. One hip chick. How are you? One hip chick has a video channel here on YouTube. Check it out, and maybe we can get her to do some more videos because I saw several, and I can see there's potential there. One hip chick. Don't despise small beginnings, as the good book says. Don't despise small beginnings. um, it takes a while. I mean, it took me a long time to have enough viewers to go live before they would even let me go live. You know, I think it's supposed to be 1,000 subscribers before you can go live, but I know that there's other people that have gone live with less than that, with less than that. We're just about to hit 6,000 if we haven't already. And I thank you so much for that. Please subscribe and like. If you're in the replay, same thing. And make your comments here. So, yeah, you do, huh, Neo? Well, um, and what are your videos on? Hank Hill. Hank Hill. What does that mean, Jake Judy? I'm going to need more info on that. I'm going to do 3 minutes plus of politics. But, if you have a topic that you'd like to talk about, or if you want to comment on anything from, you know, uh, 50 Shades of Grey, or that it should only be vanilla, in your opinion, and what have you. I can tell you that I talked about the statistics that show that Christian kids, first of all, they're from a Christian home. They're not necessarily Christian kids. They'll receive Christ when they receive Christ, with their heart. Just because your daddy's a pastor doesn't mean that you've received Christ, even if you told daddy you did or responded to an altar call. You might have done it just to please your parents, but Christian kids do tend to go through a period of rebellion. They tend to do that. Um, so I had a point, which is left me. It was something I wanted to say. Um, we know that when we look at the scriptures, um, uh, even though you can look at Songs of Solomon and you'll be surprised what's in there, we know that there is a criteria. And most Christians don't start off coming anywhere near to the standards that God sets, and it takes us time to battle the flesh, and really, it's got to be the Holy Spirit battling the flesh. We've just got to let the Holy Spirit do it. We've got to be willing, because the Lord doesn't force His will on anybody. He gives us free will. So, okay, I'm not gonna expand too much on that, unless I'm playing off of something that somebody else says. President Biden held a press conference today to push for his immigration reform bill that allows for thousands of immigrants to still continue to stream through the border each day, as is the normal practice now. Included in this bill is plenty more. It's not enough to have an immigration bill. They see it as another opportunity to force their will about the Ukraine, which is a bombed out shell. You're never going to win a war with Vladimir Putin. I know I've said that before. Um, so plenty more money for Ukraine. We've already wasted billions over there. Billions wasted, absolutely wasted. And of course, considerably less for our loyal ally Israel, which, unlike the Ukraine, is a NATO country. Of course, Hunter Biden wasn't on the payroll in the Ukraine. He was paid by the Ukraine and China. He served on advisory boards just because he was related to Joseph R. Biden. He had zero qualifications. The Biden administration spends like patients in an insane asylum. They absolutely do. To the tone, some estimates say over $10 billion a day, when the deficit is over $34 trillion. And the millions of immigrants that have come is over $34 trillion. And the millions of immigrants that have come to America illegally could bring the country to its knees. It's already happening. The country is facing being overwhelmed. They come from dozens of countries and numerous states, and it is overwhelming. Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, San Diego, I would have to be, I would think, possibly. President Biden uh, likes to say that he is trying to stop a problem that's existed forever. But we all know that President Trump had safeguards in place, and things were obviously much different when Trump was in office. Biden was the one that, during the debate, said if he's elected president, the illegal immigrants should surge the border. And sure enough, He hadn't even stepped into office when they began to do just that. So we have Mayor Adams in New York City issuing $59 million to be spent on giving a form of credit card to immigrants that are staying in uh, four-star hotels, $1,000 a month, I think, for each immigrant. And there's still no room to put many of them, And so it is now, uh, even as Biden and his team realize that this could cost them the election, what they have done to America. Everybody wants someone who has legitimate asylum claims to be heard. And we want to let immigrants in. They bring and contribute a lot, especially the ones that say it used to be that the immigrants that came in really had a love for America. They wanted not to try to change the culture of America. They wanted to contribute to the culture, to bring their special spice uh, to the culture. But they loved America and they were thrilled to be here. Now they come in with an attitude, well, what are you going to give me? What are you going to give me? I came here because I heard Joe Biden is a sugar daddy, and I'm here to live off the land, to suck off. You got the rest of it, the breast of America, and and you know I'm not promising that I'm going to do anything but be a nuisance and a problem to you. Many of them have criminal backgrounds and what have you. So it's a total mess, and Joe Biden caused it 3 years ago. He caused it. They tried to throw that on Trump, who had everything under control, who had a bubbling economy, much bit better than what we have now, because people are still seeing how high the prices are. And they're noticing, since they are the tax and spend Democrats, they're really socialist progressives, they're um, they're noticing that they are like spendaholics. They always said the tax and spend Democrats. Joe Biden is the epitome of that. And so that has to be paid for. So that means more taxes, more fees. Nikki Haley was talking about if she should get elected, and that's not going to happen, thank God. A 27% national sales tax. A 27% national sales tax, because we have spent ourselves into oblivion. We've spent the kids' inheritance, and we're in serious trouble. Everything's in trouble. Social Security, everything's in trouble because of the kind of spending of people like Joe Biden and the progressives that guide him along. So there he is today, coming down hard on Trump and trying to blame everything on him, and his disgust and his hatred for the MAGA Republicans. What he's doing is he's coming against half of the country. Half of the country. He's not winning any new friends. He said he would be the 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 one who brought us all together. And first of all, he's in serious cognitive decline. You know all this. When he tries to ad lib at the end of his teleprompter speech, he gets lost and just walks away. We can't have 4 more years of this. There won't be a country left. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I'm not going to say any more unless somebody would have a question or somebody would have their own opinion. Um, and yeah, I can't. I don't know who Rusty Shackelford is, and um, I don't watch the show or the movie that you're referring to, or even the video game. Right? Never played a video game since the '70s when I used to play in the arcade. I liked Berserk. I remember I liked that game. How much is funneled back to the PTB? The PTB. I should be able to get that, but it's not coming to mind. Um, so Yeah, he certainly is Sleepy Joe, and he picks a vice president that's more scary than him. That did take talent. His wife didn't want Kamala. After all, she inferred that Joe was a racist in the debate. How would you ever pick her? And she's been the border czar that's never been to the southern part of the border. She's not interested in immigration. She was very supportive of BLM that attacked police, burned businesses, including black businesses, all over Portland, Oregon, and Chicago, and New York City, and many, many places. Supported a bail for these people. Some of the BLM people are being paid, in effect, reparations, for committing felonies. We're living in a time where we've just completely lost our way. We've completely lost our way. So there is that. There is that. So I'm not being able to play off any of the comments that I'm seeing. Anybody got something to say? My serious people, please do. Please do. So we're going to have to hope that there's a change in the November election, but also we get the elected people that we deserve, and the last days are going to happen. So I guess uh, it is a time to be more serious about your faith. It's always was a time, but it's a time to prepare. It's a time to prepare. Now, Saturday night, I could be going after I work with the 95-year-old gentleman. I could be going to an ABBA tribute band concert here in the downtown area. We're not 100% sure on that. I think they're called Mania ABBA tribute band. And being a top 40 disc jockey, I was never a hard rock DJ, although I like some hard rock. I love the music of ABBA. I love Mamma Mia, both one and two, the movie, and I never saw the Broadway play, but I um, I love those tunes. I have all the respect in the world for ABBA, who all their early recordings, especially, were done when they didn't even speak English. They were singing those songs phonetically, "Dancing Queen" and "Gimme, Gimme, Gimme Some Love," and "The Winner Takes It All," and on and on and on. One hit after another. They must have like 15 hits or so. Um, those are uh, those are terrific songs to me. Um, and I'm very happy with the new Billy Joel song. I've been playing it over and over on Spotify. "Turn the Lights Back On" is the name of Billy's first song in decades. And it's great. It's great. It's a great first start. I hope it's not the end. It's kind of seems to be laying the groundwork for more, almost apologizing for being away so long. And now he's fighting to get the magic back and what have you. And his voice sounds great. I think with a little help from vocal enhancement. All the older acts are doing that. They use certain technology that gives more, what's the word? Vibrato to their voice, more punch, more oomph, more young, uh, more of a young sound that they used to have back in their voice, more richness to their vocals. Felice Cooper would know more about this than I certainly do. Hi, Nancy DeMarco. Thank you very much for sending me that picture of yourself holding up my daughter's book. Um, which I don't know where it is right now. Uh, Part of the pack. It's here somewhere, but I'm gonna forward that on to my daughter, but there's something wrong with my phone. I'm trying to send it in a text, and so we went to the phone store because um, it just won't go through. I can send a text, but I can't send a picture. And I thought, well, she'd fix this right up real quick, but instead she wants to switch us to another phone plan that's very similar when the contract expires on the 23rd of this month. You know, it's a month to month kind of thing. I don't have a 2 year contract or anything. So I haven't been able to send those photos because it was several people that took the time to to order the book on Amazon, part of the pack, which is for children, say 7 years old and younger. If you have grandchildren, by Kaylee Gallus, that's my daughter, and I want to send those pictures with you guys holding the book. So I just can't understand why it's not right in front of me. I'll always find it 5 seconds after I get off the air. Um, yeah, it's a nice book because I think this probably would be something that the dogs sense that they are no longer the king of the hill when a new baby comes into the family. You know, it's wonderfully illustrated by Annika, and you notice I'm staying away from her last name because I'm not sure how to pronounce it. And I'll send that to my daughter and give you an update as soon as I have it, Nancy, and for everyone that's doing it. I appreciate that very much, but it's part of the pack on Amazon. It's just $10. And then send me a picture when you get it of you holding it. And I will forward that on to my daughter as soon as I get my technical problem fixed with the phone here. It probably could be that I just need more storage, right? I'm not up to the top, but I'm not that far away from it. Now, when you have Google Photos and you pay, you know, for extra space with Google Photos, I mean, is that also stored on your phone storage, or that's all backed up in Google? So I thought it's in their storage, not my phone storage. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Because I'm not really sure. But thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it. So things have come to a crawl here. Um, Probably talking about relationships. Well, I can say a little bit more about that because we have just covered a little bit. Divorce does scar the children. It scars the children tremendously. Different children with different personalities react in different ways, but it's something that pays dividends. When I finally woke up to what was happening in my first marriage, I begged for one more chance because I knew that this would pay dividends for all of us involved forever. And it does, and it is. And it's a shame. It's a shame. Yeah. Well, okay, Neil. So it shouldn't be, but then again, it says that my storage on the phone is up to like 88% or something. So I should get more storage, perhaps. Maybe I should do that, right? I feel this administration said, here's your chance, was allowed into office to help issue in the end days, the end day prophecies. I guess you could say that. Here's your chance. But I agree, the country and world is a disaster. Yeah. We want to say that, oh, America is going to have more glory days, but I don't think so. I don't think so. We're just trying to slow the bleeding down. But you know, the progressives, the socialists, the people that don't care anything about God, what have you, they are you know, just waiting for us older people to die off, and it's going to become worse and worse and worse, as the Bible indicates that it will be. You know, yeah, I think you're right, Neil. I think you're right about that. If you have too much on your phone, s- but it says that the most it indicates in storage that the taking up the most space is photos and videos, but yet I've got that backed up on Google, so I'm confused. You know. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that very, very much. Appreciate that very much. So, um, men often don't realize what they have until they don't have it anymore. When you find yourself on the outside looking in, when you find another man moving in with your former wife and children, it will get your attention. It will get your attention in many ways, in many ways. And fortunately, I got to see my kids a lot. We didn't have any problems there, but eventually they outgrow that. Especially, if you have both a son and a daughter, the daughter will probably outgrow it before the son will. And you know, um, I missed important things. Like when 9/11 happened, I was living in my apartment 8 miles away, and it really affected my son, and I would eventually see him and we would talk about it, but, it affected him, and you miss very important things, and often those second relationships don't work out, didn't work out, for me, and, but, with Karen now, we've been together, as I say, we're going into year 14. Yeah. So yeah, that certainly is happening. Here's your chance. Um, the uh, the things that are predicted in the last days are now accelerating, and when you have a regime instead of Joe Biden has the nerve to call himself a Christian, yet he's for partial birth abortion. He's for everything that the Bible says not to be. Now, it's one thing to admit to sin. Um, I always felt that it's better, I'm obviously not going to turn this into a confessional, but it's better to be honest about your struggles and Paul admitted to present sin in Romans 7, which probably would have got him kicked out of the Baptist church. My goodness, even people that don't live holy chastise those who admit to not living holy. I think that's a true statement, you know. And people like myself that seem to go between hot and cold. Um, um, I make myself a target. And when, you talk about the aspect of sexuality, which we all have, you go into very dangerous territory, uh, depending on the audience that you have, And I know my audience is basically brought here by the pastor from Benton, Arkansas, for the most part. So we'll be having at least a portion of more of your reaction, Pastor Bob Joyce, through your eyes on Saturday night. I should be able to make 11 o'clock Saturday night if we go to the ABBA concert. And I won't do a particularly long show, but then again, if it's humming, I will. I feed off of you. I feed off of you. Um, Yes, lukewarm is the worst temperature in the Bible, Neo. Do not be lukewarm, or I will spit you out of my mouth. So I think that's about it for today. There's still 23 watching. Why is that highlighted in red? I wonder. We have 25 likes, though, so I appreciate that very much. And we're coming up to an hour and 15 minutes. Let's end on an hour and 15 minutes, unless things change dramatically here. But for those of you watching in the replay, I'm so glad that you joined us. I'd love to hear your comments. Yes, we even talked about 50 Shades of Grey, and I had one viewer, Becca, that um, was willing to say that she had seen the movies. She had seen the movies, and as I have, I have. Ah, yes, the struggles of the flesh. They go on. I don't think too many people ever die completely in the perfect will of God. Like uh, completing their mission, Paul said, I press on, not that I've attained it, not that I've attained it, but I press on towards a high calling in Jesus Christ. And that's where you want to be. That's where you are want to be. Sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm far from it. That's why I say hot or cold, you know. You have a good evening yourself, Julie. I appreciate that. Hey, here comes Patty with an eye. How are you? I will catch the replay. Good evening. Rest well. You too, everybody. You too. Yeah, there it is. So, an hour and 15 minutes for a Tuesday edition of Worldwide Ramblings. God willing, I will see you Saturday night, probably at 11 p.m. East Coast time, and we'll have a good time together. Be safe, and remember to pray for Deborah Lake. Pray for Ross, who's in the cardiac rehab unit. Pray for Paul McCreary and Joanne Cooper Troop and her husband. And put your prayer request in the replay section video, okay? Bye-bye for now.